Thanks, buddy. It's never going to stay.
No.
Attention, Earth, that will never work.
Hey, what's up, guys? Tactiholics here with our good friend, Mr. Rob Pincus. So you took a break from your Personal Defense Network training tour for 2016 to come down to Louisville, Kentucky, the NRA show. And I've been watching this come out on social media, really excited. I think you put a lot of effort into it. So tell us about your new PD10 with Avidity arms.
Yeah, so Avidity Arms is a brand new company. Eagle Imports is going to be handling our distribution. They're a great partner for us. The original idea was with some of the partners with Eagle. They came to me and said, you know, you've talked about doing a gun, we've talked about maybe designing and tweaking an AR or something like that, but what if we were going to start a new gun company? What if you were to come up with something completely new, what would you do? If you could have blank slate, napkin sketch, anything you want. I said, all right, well, here's a list of parameters, and here's a couple of guns that would share some features in common with. Here's some guns that I would not want to have features shared in common with. Here's some things we want to do, things we don't want to do. And honestly, what isn't out there, and what people have asked for, is a full-size, single-stack, modern striker fire gun, like the single-stack, Glock middle size, like single-stack M&P full size. Like that isn't out there. So that's really when we started. That was the conversation. And of course, Eagle's been around for 30 years, bringing in a bunch of great brands from all over the world. Now they're going to be distributing for the first time an American-made gun, because we'll be assembling these and producing these and manufacturing these right here in the U.S. So we're really excited about it. That's how it started, and that's how we get to this.
Very cool. So single stack 9mm with a full size. What's the barrel length? Right around 4 inches?
Right around 4 inches. Okay. And we're actually using, because a lot of people find this funny knowing my history with what kinds of guns I like and don't like, we are using a 10-round 9mm 1911 mag. So we've got the Chip McCormick mags. These are great magazines. They're the smallest 10-round magazine. They're super reliable. They've got some different follower things going on. This is the magazine it's going to ship with. And obviously it's going to fit flush into the base of the magazine, but we've got the extended claw-type base plate, and we've got some relief here for the emergency manipulation stripping.
Yeah.
And that's really where people look at this gun and go, look, Rob, you carry a short grip gun. You don't carry a full-length grip gun. You carry I carry an XDS right now. I had the Glock 26Ls, the 19s with the grip cut down to the 26 size.
Yeah.
But this is going to fit a lot of people's hands. This is going to fit a lot of people's hands really well, and it's a great transition gun for going from the house to carry for a lot of people. Now myself, I'm going to be able to carry a chop grip version of this better, and that's probably going to be our second gun. Right now we got to get this one out. Once we get this one out, our second gun is probably just going to be the chop version of this that'll carry a lot better for scrawnier guys like me, right? So it's a single stack, 10+1, 9mm modern striker fire design. We've got claw sights are going to come standard on it. We've got the undercuts. We've got this sculpted area here, which is going to make it fit a lot of the smaller hands really well. The trigger is going to have a trigger block safety. That's probably the one difference here between this gun and the actual production gun is the trigger block safety.
Okay.
It's got a very short reset and a very consistently weighted trigger. So it's a longer trigger pull, obviously the first one, the medium length, medium weight of pull, but it's very smooth. It doesn't ramp up. There isn't really a hard wall. One of the biggest problems I see, obviously for me, this is about solving problems. Comfortable carry, single stack, full size. It's going to fit a lot of hands, and yet sculpted so that it'll still fit smaller hands or shorter fingers. A lot of people want the rail, so we have a short rail on here. You're going to be able to put a light, be able to put a laser, be able to put a combo unit on there. The safety is going to be one side or the other, so you can left-handed or right-handed setup, whichever you prefer. Obviously, the emergency manipulation on the claw sights, the emergency manipulation on the base plate, we wanted to make sure we had the undercut, and we wanted to make sure that the general feel of the gun put it really deep into your hands, so that you get better muzzle control and better recoil management from that gun that sits closer to the hand. That's what we're going for. Serrations on the rear, really aggressive, good serrations on the rear. A slide stop, not a slide release. This is going to be angled out a little bit more than is on this production model, and that's going to give you really positive engagement when you need to lock the gun open and strip a mag, but we obviously intend for this gun to be grabbed behind the ejection port and racked. We have a loaded chamber indicator. It's going to be a tactile and visual. A lot of people like that. It's a feature that I think is easy to put on there. It also helps us with some of the considerations of different jurisdictions that want to see more safety features on the gun. Sculpted at the front for, we don't have that hard angle digging in for appendix carry inside the waistband. We've got that sculpted at the front area there. And these are existing dovetails, so you can, if you don't like these sights for some reason, you want to put your preference on there, it's going to be really easy to find sights that fit. We already have holsters being made for the gun. We're going to have a lot of great companies out there. I know probably going to do some things with G-Code and Crossbreed really early on. This is a Filster. We got plenty of other companies, some of those smaller companies, custom companies. Talk about Spencer Keepers is going to do one. I know Bravo Concealment's going to do one. So it's really, the gun is, we're so close to launch. It's about tweaking it, making it right. Rings is already doing blue guns for us. Once we get it right, we'll be taking orders and shipping them. And we keep saying summer, knowing that summer is at least a Labor Day weekend, right?
Sure.
But it's going to be Q3 sometime is what it really looks like after where we are today with the engineers tweaking everything for reliability before they send it to me for testing, because they don't want me to have to send it back, and that makes sense. So my job was the design. My job will be the testing and then the marketing and promotion and the education around it. Right now, the engineers are doing their thing, and I'm sitting back and being as patient as I can be to let them do it.
Absolutely. I don't see that going to kind of a...
Luckily, I'm very distracted. It's the tour. During tour season, I'm easily distracted, right? I mean, you said you took a break from the tour. The NRA show is part of the tour for me. I mean, I told all those students in the class this morning in that seminar, standing room only. It's an honor to have the NRA ask. It's humbling to see how many people show up, and they're students. They're students of the tour.
Yeah.
Somebody watching this video, you're a student. If I said anything about the design of this gun that made you think about the gun you're going to pick, that's what I want. That's education. The way we design this gun. People ask, why doesn't it have front serrations? It doesn't have front serrations because I don't believe in manipulating the gun up by the muzzle end. I don't want you reaching in front of the ejection port. I don't want you reaching up by the muzzle. You don't need front serrations. And people will say, well, you could put front serrations on there, and it's not really going to cost you anything. You might sell the gun to someone that wasn't going to buy it. I said, but it doesn't. What it costs me is parts of my soul. Like I don't want to see somebody using this gun. Yeah, my dignity, right? My integrity, right? I don't want to see somebody manipulating this gun in a way that I don't think is best. And so I'm an educator first and a gun manufacturer second. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I can definitely see, the thought process and your enthusiasm and passion for efficiency. Efficiency and consistency in something that works well in a safe and reliable package. That's all built into this. This thing sits so low in your hand. The trigger feels really good dry firing it. I like that it comes with your claw sights. Everything about this really. You didn't even really leave me anything to ask you because you already broke everything down so much. That
you didn't ask me about that.
What is that?
That's the safety index point. The SIP. I don't know what he's made that up. It's, but we didn't make the index point up. We really did. We always told people keep your fingers somewhere other than the trigger.
Yeah.
So we actually put a place into the gun where even if you can reach the trigger, you can reach the back end, and if you have longer fingers, you're going to be in the front end. But somewhere in here, instead of just saying find a place, we gave you a place.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get the people that are over the trigger guard,
right,
out in space, over the ejection port.
And watch this. Go to a two-handed grip. And let that. And a lot of people have noticed. Oh, look at that! Your thumb, flip it over, roll it, roll it, roll it. Your offhand thumb's probably going to sit really close to the index point on the weak side of the gun and give you another nice little kind of contextually accurate kinesthetic feedback point. Boom, my thumb's in the right place, my index finger's in the right place, I've got this gun in the right place. We talked about the low bore axis, right? The idea the gun sits really low in the hand.
Yeah, incredible.
We talked about the slide bite.
Right.
This is going to rub. We know that. There's a lot of hands. If you have a meatier hand, this is going to rub, but we are actually going to radius the whole back couple of inches of the slide.
Okay.
So it's an intended design point. We're going to call it iced slides, right? IC Training Company. I refuse to ever call it ice, but somehow we're calling this iced slide rail. So it's going to be a radius slide rail and a little rounded at the back. It's going to look. You're going to look at it and say, well, but the engineers assure me nothing's going to get in there. It won't create any kind of a reliability issue. But we know this slide is going to touch people's hands, and we know that makes training harder, and it's uncomfortable, and you get a cut, and it's ugly, and I don't want to shoot a gun. Look, your hand's bleeding. It's weird.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure that that's a rub and not a cut. So we're excited about that. There's some things we're doing here that I think are, if not necessarily brand new, I think they're an innovative refinement, and it's the way we're packaging it all together. And I think people are going to look at it and say, well, if they can do this for $4.99 MSRP, which means it'll sell for less in the gun shops. If they can do that for $4.99, why am I having to buy a $700 gun and instead just take it to a $300 custom shop and buy $100 worth of sights and when this gun's ready to go? They can do it, made in America. Maybe some other companies are going to catch on. Maybe we'll see some impact in the way guns come to the consumer with less variables and more efficiency.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm really excited to see these things hit the market. Hopefully I can link up with you and put some rounds through one and do something.
Sure.
You hit the nail on the head. It feels like a full-size XDS kind of a thing. You know, it's narrow like a single stack with the shields and the XDSs that you guys are seeing and you're comfortable carrying, but you get that longer sight radius, the bigger capacity, and it's, I mean, just wow. I'm really glad I got out here. I mean, that's, like I said, you left me nothing to say. But yeah, and then for anybody that didn't see the live video we put up on Facebook earlier, you know, you had a couple of presentations. You have one tomorrow again?
Yeah, one more tomorrow, 2 o'clock on Sunday. Here, the last day of the NRA show, we're doing a defensive shooting skill development class where we'll talk a lot about why would you want a gun like this. Well, if you're developing the right skills for the right contextual use, then boom, this is what we're looking at.
Okay. So anybody that sees this and is looking for high quality training, it probably won't be up before the show's over tomorrow, but if you're looking for high quality training, be sure to check out the Personal Defense Network and look up Rob's training touring schedule. You know, you hear him use words like efficiency, consistency, reliability, things when he's referencing the gun. I can tell you firsthand, time and time again, he's beaten me over the head with these things, and his classes are no different. They focus on subjective and individual performance with that gun and responding to the best of your abilities in a worst case dynamic critical incident situation. And this gun is certainly designed around that. So as always, man, pleasure, great information, keep putting it out there, and I'm excited to see what happens with your new design.
As am I, and I'll be up with you in Wisconsin in just a couple weeks. So if you do get this up, and people look at that training tab on personaldefensenetwork.com, we've still got a lot of classes left in the 2016 training tour. It's not just me, but we have 10 instructors teaching a lot of different topics. So maybe we'll see some of the Tactiholics fans out there. I love what you're doing. Keep the good work up.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have this up. There'll be links to all those classes and stuff below. We hope to see you out there. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks. He never quits. But he forgot to say it.